trying to teach people never to give up. Now I'm going to teach people to give up.
I took all my repairs. How the hell am I still slow? What the
Okay, let's take a look at that. So, sorry this is super late. I was very sick and unable to drive until today. And honestly, this lap probably isn't the best lap in the world either. People are running about half a tenth or so better than this, but I felt good to stop here. So, we're gonna do our run up here. This is second lap, hot lap. I think first is fine as well. I don't think it really matters, to be honest with you. So I want to get all the way out by the wall, and then you want to aim to be down. You see this part of the yellow line here where there's this access road right there? You want to make it so that you can go straight from the wall all the way down. Like you want this whole entire drive down right here. So that's what I did. And then you want to apex right at the end of the yellow curb. And then you have like pretty much just a straight drive off. Now, this is going to be really loose if you don't have your wheel straight at this point right here. So make sure to straighten out your wheel, and you'll be like, well, aren't I going to hit the wall? You really won't, I promise. Like you can do little turns like that and just not hit the wall. So just drive it as straight as you can while keeping it off the wall. Okay, so turn one here. There's a couple ways that I went about doing this. And this one I didn't think was the faster way until I got it faster. So the first way that I do this, so I guess there's multiple right answers. The first line that I did was a lot wider entry and just one late apex. And the second line that I'm doing here is an early entry with a diamond. The problem with the wide apex is like the grip is really inconsistent when you're anywhere above right here. So like I would enter here and the car would want to go straight sometimes. It wouldn't want to turn under braking. Whereas I knew what I was getting every time when I entered early and got to the bottom early. So that's why I recommend this way. It's just more consistent. So I let the car slide up, and then I want the car to be turning back down the hill. So you can kind of see in this curb here, there's a point where it kind of just sticks out. Like it feels like a 90-degree turn at this point. It's not, obviously, but it feels like it. So that's why I want to make my diamond right there. Because that is a good point to where you can start driving back up the hill. So you can see I actually lost a bit of time compared to my best ever before this, where I did actually do a wide entry with a single apex. And again, that single apex, if you do want to pursue that way, again, that single apex is the same point in the curb. And you can tell maybe it's a little subtle, but from the way I see it, from what I'm looking at, it looks like just a regular turn, a regular turn, a regular turn, a regular turn. And then you approach a part of the turn that just feels like it tightens. Like this angle to me feels a lot heavier, or whatever the word is, than anything before it, right? So that's my marker. So when the corner tightens, that's when I want to apex both lines. Okay. And so we get a little bit worse of a drive off here, obviously, because we weren't able to get the best angle with that wide entry. But that wide entry I just wasn't consistent on. Okay, 3 and 4 here. Again, I'm going to get to the bottom early. And notice here, I'm just both 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I start with a tiny brake stab. I get to 50 for a little bit. And then I'm just going to be trail braking the rest of the way. So trail brake, hold your wheel. Downshift to third. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about downshift, sorry. I was so worried about the angles and stuff. So the biggest thing about downshifting is you don't want to do it too early in the revs because it can kick out your rear tires if you do that. So as long as you're downshifting at a point that's not kicking out your rear tires, it should be good. The earlier you can shift, the better technically because of engine braking. But I have a bigger priority on keeping my rear tires engaged. So I like to do it at low revs personally, but some people make downshifting, short shifting a bit work. So drag the brake. Once we get kind of on our little apex here, we go into third. You see we slide up a bit. So this is like a mini diamond compared to the bigger diamond of 1 and 2. So I just kind of wrapped the corner here. I was trying diamonds in 3 and 4 as well, but it was a lot harder for me to get the exit on 3 and 4. The car didn't really want to come back down the hill when I wanted it to in 3 and 4 with a diamond, so I ended up getting better runs by just keeping it to the bottom and driving straight back up the hill in 3 and 4 instead of kind of forcing that diamond. So I really do think wrapping 3 and 4 is a good call. Like obviously there's a mini diamond here. Like you can see I come up like a quarter of a lane, but I tried like half a lane, full lane diamonds in 3 and 4. And again, they might be faster if you are able to get them perfectly, but this is going to be the more consistent method. All right. So now that we went over the hot lap, now let's talk about how this carries over to the race. All right, let's talk about long run here. So long run actually will be pretty applicable here because you're probably going to get some races strung out here. 1, because all the wreckers are at Daytona this week, and 2, because this is a pretty single groove track that tends to string out, which means pretty common green flag racing. Okay, now we'll come to our first lap here. So the biggest thing about saving tires at Milwaukee is going to be corner entry. There's 2 ways to approach corner entry. One of them is to go really shallow like this, but the problem with this is you end up using a lot of wheel to end up getting it to the yellow line eventually. You see that? I also never downshifted. You can see there how much I lost because I never went to third, about a 10th. So you can go this shallow, but the problem is you end up turning your wheel a little too much. So the slightly better, but also harder way is to make a wide entry, but make your turn down not with your wheel, but with your brake pedal.
That was your fastest lap of the session.
So you'll see here that I will start wide, turn down with the wheel a little bit, and then just brake all the way down to the bottom, downshift, then partial throttle it all the way from there. And this is better on the tires because you're getting rotation that's putting the car, so you see I put a little bit too much brake in it there and it slid my rears a little bit. So that kind of shows you what's happening on a macro level. So Milwaukee is always huge, burning the right front, any car. So you just want to do whatever is possible to lessen the load on the right front. So my favorite way to do that is by using the low brake bias plus brake drag all the way through corner entry. Notice how when I miss the corner entry, I do not force the car down to the bottom because that would require a lot of tire. You see, you can't use too much brake. You see how I had to correct my wheel there? Now I have to turn even more because I used too much brake on entry. It's going to be a test of discipline, right? Because you got to brake early and you got to brake soft and you got to brake often. So brake early, brake soft, hold it all the way till I get to the bottom, then downshift. And then you just hold the partial. You can see here. Brake early. Get to the bottom. Kind of do a mini diamond. Try to get down on exit. Oh man, didn't shift for some reason. But it's going to be tight on entry, loose on exit. But the thing is, you don't get loose on exit if you have a good enough angle. So you see, you have to diamond at the right place so that you can straighten out the wheel early. couple more laps here. So you see I'm diamonding back down the hill right at the end of this curb, so that yes, I got loose, but honestly my angle was pretty good to where it probably didn't need to get loose there.
30.761.
Well, last lap here. Okay, so we're going to downshift here. See, we come back down the hill towards the end of the curb, and it gives us a really straight exit. And so that's what we add on top of our early brake. Get to the bottom, diamond up, downshift, get back down at the end of the curb, drive it straight back up the hill. There we go. That's exactly what I'm looking for. All right, cool.
30.741.
So let's go take a look at our tires now. We did 10 laps there, 96, 96. So this will want to be on the right front eventually, but this is what I'm showing you. This is the line that you want to take if you want even tire wear, and just strive to as close as that as possible, and it should be more or less the same throughout the run. All right, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day, and hope to see you all on the track.